We continue with politics here on All Angles. Now, the ANC NEC is today wrapping up a series of meetings convened since last week. The worsening energy crisis and service delivery challenges are some of the issues that have been at the core of the discussions. Now, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to close the meeting today. Let's get a recap now with our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge, who is in Esselen Park for us. Sipa, what is expected to happen exactly today, and when is the president expected to wrap up the meetings?
The president of the ANC, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, is expected to address and close the NEC Lekgotla of the ANC around 6 p.m. today. What is currently happening is that all those who are attending the Lekgotla of the ANC are busy with closed sessions. They are in commissions, and that's where they are dealing with the issues of various topics and challenges, including the energy crisis, peace and stability, social transformation, issues of violence and crime. That's what they are currently seized with. So for today, they are just having a closed session, and they are dealing with that matter of a number of challenges that the ANC-led government is struggling to deal with. After those closed sessions, then the commissions will report back to plenary, and then after that report back, the president of the ANC, Mr. Ramaphosa, will then close the Lekgotla of the ANC around 6 o'clock this evening. But many people are keenly waiting and watching as to what will happen after Mr. Ramaphosa has closed that session of the Lekgotla, because usually Mondays in the ANC are set aside as ANC days, whereby the officials of the governing party will meet in the morning, followed by another meeting of the National Working Committee of the ANC, which is a structure responsible for the day-to-day running of the governing party, the ANC. After that, crucial decisions will then be resolved upon or referred to the NEC. The focus this time around is on the replenishment, or rather the reconfiguration of the list. The ANC has got a number of NEC members that are newly elected. Some of them are being earmarked for cabinet posts, and there is this pending talk about the cabinet reshuffle that is due to happen any time from this week. The understanding and the expectation is that at least by the time the cabinet Lekgotla is convened by President Ramaphosa, he would have made some changes to his executive, because there are a number of ANC NEC members that need to be accommodated. Remember, the conference of the ANC produced the outcomes to such an extent that you've got the deputy president of the ANC who's not the deputy president of the Republic. I've just spotted a motorcade, a presidential motorcade, going inside Esselen Park, which is the venue for the Lekgotla. I assume that is the president of the ANC, Mr. Ramaphosa himself. Yesterday, Mr. Mabuza tendered an apology and said he was not going to be able to attend due to prior commitments that he could not get out of. So today, it's closed sessions. The president of the ANC will again address the gathering and close that gathering later. But after that, the ANC leadership will move into the issue of being seized with lists, which will then guide the president in terms of this pending cabinet reshuffle. Let's take a listen to how the Secretary General of the ANC, Mr. Fikile Mbalula, responded when we asked him about the talks of the cabinet reshuffle, but also how far is the ANC in its process when dealing with the issue of the list that will affect who gets deployed to the executive.
All our provinces this week will look into the list and replenishment, and we'll keep you informed about if that is going to happen. About the deputy president this week, we'll inform you. Maybe by Tuesday, we will inform you about the replenishment of list and so on. Province to national, and provinces are replenishing list. People have come forward with proposals. So in terms of replenishment, so post the Lekgotla process, we are meeting even here with different provincial secretaries about that matter. So we will inform you on Tuesday or later on about those replenishments.
And Sipa, you made mention about Mabuza, sending an apology to not being able to attend today. But there's also talk that he had, there was talk this weekend, rather, Sipa, that he had actually offered to step down so that Paul Mashatile can take over as deputy president, I understand. What's the word around that?
No official confirmation really. It's been widely reported that indeed he has told the President of the Republic, who's the President of the ANC, Mr. Ramaphosa, that he would be tendering his resignation to make way for the newly elected ANC's Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile. In a way, he's trying to assist the movement, quote unquote, because he says, we are told, that he does not want to make it difficult for the ANC here and the government, because he did not make it back to ANC's top leadership, and therefore he would be vacating. There are those who are close to him in the past who have said that initially, before the reports, or rather before it was reported that he is willing to resign, there were those who were saying there is no need for him to resign to destabilize the government, because we are only left with about a year to next year's general election. So therefore, why would you want to destabilize government? So President Cyril Ramaphosa would have to apply his mind here, because it's either he goes for a total overhaul of his executive, or he will just replace those ministers that were not replaced. In this case, I'm talking about former Minister Ayanda Dlodlo, who was responsible for public service and administration. Mr. Mbalula himself, the Secretary General of the ANC, is expected to resign this week, because that position of being the engine at Luthuli House is a full-time position. So therefore, he will have to resign. It's either President Ramaphosa will replace those ministers and the number of deputy ministers, or he will go for a total overhaul. But what makes his job a bit difficult in this case is the issue of some ministers who did not make it to the National Executive Committee of the ANC, who occupy key strategic departments in his executive. But also you've got that issue of the Deputy President of the Republic, Mr. David Mabuza, who's not the Deputy President of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, waiting on the sides to say, well, I will take my cue from what the President and the ANC decide, but in the meantime, I'm waiting and ready to assist the movement. We asked Mr. Mbalula whether President Ramaphosa has received Mr. Mabuza's resignation letter. This is how he responded.
The President has not shared anything about the resignation of the Deputy President. And the Deputy President has apologized. His apology was read, and you were there. So his apology is accepted. There's no problem about it. David Mabuza has been one of the most loyal servant of the ANC. And he has served our movement with diligence, dignity, and integrity and discipline. So from that point of view, we know him to be well organized and disciplined. He's not the kind of person who competes for positions or for anything of that sort, or who's chaotic in how he does things. He's well organized. He's a disciplined member of the ANC. And if he apologizes that he cannot make it to this meeting, his apology is accepted. If he resigns, he will engage and talk to the President, and the President will engage. At the present moment, we are orderly. We come from a conference. We are now at the Lekgotla. We come from a National Executive Committee. And we've got a clear mandate in terms of what we need to do to be obsessed with people's interests. That's what is important.